Yeah, I'm Marlon, studio manager here in SF. So if you ever want to check out our cabinetry in person, we have a test kitchen here and all of our finishes and some other test units to review in person. But yes, today we have an amazing and very special tour set up today with one of our finest designers. This is Eva. She does amazing work, really listens to her clients and designs beautiful kitchens. But yeah, Eva, thank you so much for opening your home today for us. I'm really excited. And I'm sure a lot of the people joining us today are also interested in seeing what you came up with. So, yeah, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do here at Form and a little bit about your lifestyle?
Sure. Well, my name is Eva. I am a designer here at Form, and in the past year, I've helped kind of bought a new home and renovated it to have a Form kitchen inside it, as well as the bathrooms. But today we'll focus on the kitchen because it feels time to share it with the world and kind of talk a little bit more about it. I've been a designer for 17 years. Seems weird to say, but for a majority of my careers lately has been kitchen design and residential work. So it's been lovely working at Form again to kind of get that client connection and help make people's dreams kind of come true in the kitchen. Some of the things that I love about my kitchen is I love to cook and I love to entertain. So when redoing this design in this kitchen, that was a big part of it is to make sure I had enough space to set out things, to cook, to hide away any kind of appliances and things that I use every day, as well as just be more organized. And our cabinets really kind of do that. So it really is nice to kind of one design it, live with it, kind of gives me a whole new experience to being a kitchen designer with our product. So
Amazing, amazing. Thanks. So this was definitely a huge project for you. How did you know that Form Cabinetry was a right fit for you?
well, for starters, I purchased this home last November, and when my husband and I bought it, it was incredibly dark and dated, and it was just time for a change. And I knew our cabinetry was what I wanted to put in it. I knew the organization because you can see the footprint. It's a big kitchen, but it's compact. So I wanted to make sure every inch was covered and everything I need to put in it was there. And knowing that all the kind of quirks and interesting features we have could make this happen. So I knew immediately I wanted to do a form kitchen. Then it became what details, what did I want, what colors, what finishes. In fact, I didn't even pick the wall color until I got the Sam's color sample because I wanted it all to be very cohesive and match. Um, so it
Yeah.
really was a whole design process that I made sure I had the pieces on site to pick the paint to kind of build outward from there.
Uh, Awesome. And so like what is your design process when you're designing a kitchen with our collection? Like you said you used the sand finish. I see the fjord blue, which is a popular and favorite finish. Um, how did you know that those were going to be it? Like what is your process about? How do you get started with all that?
Uh, when I'm talking to clients, when I'm working with kind of for myself, it was a matter of thinking about what makes sense in this space. This house can be very dark, and so I knew I wanted it to be brightened up by the finishes that I chose. But I also didn't want it to just be monochrome. So I really wanted to use the blue because it's such a dynamic color that we have. It's a little dreary today, so it looks a little more navy in the morning in the bright light, it looks much brighter. So throughout the day, it really changes color, and it's kind of lovely to come into it at different parts of the day because it always looks a little different. So I knew that was one of the things I wanted to use and incorporate. So last year it was one of our new colors, and it's become a kind of a fan favorite and a in-house favorite with all the designers.
Amazing. Thanks. Thank you for sharing that. I know your clients are always insanely impressed by the transformations you come up with. So I'm excited for this tour. And without, further ado, would you walk us through it and just show us your personalized upgrades and like some of your favorite features. I mean, I see you have a panel ready refrigerator. Like, can we start there?
Absolutely. So one of the things that I wanted to do is in this kitchen is this was important to me to have because I wanted when you look from the living room into the kitchen, it's a very clean space. So having the panel ready refrigerator was kind of a perk, kind of a really a want because I've designed my own kitchen previously and it's like one of those things, it's a splurge, but I think it's a good one. Um, and then kind of another important thing that I did that I felt was really nice is an appliance garage. And then it has this lovely, lovely shelf that pulls out towards you. So in the morning, my husband and I can come down here, make coffee, make breakfast, and easily hide it all away. That was kind of also one of those things that you listen to your client. And my husband is also a client because he lives here too. So having these things off the counter was a big deal for him. And I wanted to make sure that both of us had spaces and thoughts in the kitchen that were relevant to the things that we wanted and how we live.
Yeah, I know that popular requests from clients is like a dedicated area for plug-in appliances.
Yes.
So awesome to see it in person.
And
What
I
else?
mean, this is like the closed one. We also have a timbre one that's very cool. I just wanted it all to be very monolithic, so I chose the full cabinet door fronts.
I love it.
I cook a lot and I host a lot. So one of the things I really wanted was when I am cooking is on either side of my my range, I have my baking sheets and cutting boards to my left. I have easy to access spices on my right. So when I'm working, everything's kind of there. I can grab it, put it away, and shut everything. So it's all out of sight. And I don't have to, once again, counters are clean. I leave the kitchen and everything still looks nice and tidy, which to me is important. I would like to have a very clean home and a clean kitchen.
Yeah. And I see that's awesome. I love the soft close. I see integrated lighting, but I want to know about you really maximize storage, and I see your cabinetry goes to the ceiling, which is another popular request from clients. How does that
Yes.
how does that storage work for you?
As you can see, I am short. So obviously it's things that I don't use every day. It's my holiday things, party supplies and extra paper plates and things. It's not things that I use on the regular, but I wanted it to go to the ceiling to kind of create that full monolithic sand color wall with the accent of the hidden hood behind the walnut. It's just kind of a design aesthetic that I wanted to bring to my home. Keep it
Amazing.
very clean and streamlined and very aligned. So all those cabinets align going all the way across, and they all line up going around, so the breaks are all consistent.
Nice. Why don't you show us some more of your favorite personalized upgrades? I know you have some really cool ones.
So one of the things that is we get asked about a lot are breaks in cabinets. So if you look at the sink side of the cabinets, you can't see any of the drawers, but I do have drawers here to hide all my forks, silverware, and then kind of hidden internals. So kind of keeps it clean visually in the front, but hides those hidden drawers inside. Another one that I thought was awesome because I cook all the time is opening the trash. So when I'm cooking and I have gross fingers or chicken hands, I can throw it all out and I don't have to touch the trash can. I can just open it with my foot and then hip check it closed.
That
So
is
that's
so
what
cool.
that is probably my favorite. And I know I've been on forum before talking about that the trash can is my favorite. It really is my favorite because it's something we access thousands of times a day and keeping everything clean, out of sight. There's a kind of a little lip over it that covers it. So it keeps smell down, which is awesome. So you're not smelling gross things in the trash if you forget. but it's really been kind of something I really like in the kitchen. And guests always kind of go, "Where's your trash?" And luckily, there's a little light bulb that shows you where it is.
That's so
So,
cool.
so,
Um, nice, nice, nice. And that peninsula island, tell me a little bit about this. How did you come up with this?
so I wanted somewhere when I'm hosting parties and people over, that I had a place to lay out food that when it's all ready to go, I don't have to have someone in the kitchen hanging out in my space while I'm still cooking, but they can access everything and grab a bite and hang out and chat with me and kind of do, what everybody does in the kitchen, eat and talk and have a good time. So this really is that setup for here. Um, it's also nice because it's a little bit higher and it just kind of has just a different feel than you normally see, especially with it floating down and having a little bit of a space between.
That's a very
Um,
cool design detail. Um, do you ever design that for any of your clients? Do they ever request something, a little bit unique?
they do, but I've not had this request yet. Maybe I will now. I don't know.
Probably,
We'll see going forward.
probably. That has been a really cool kitchen tour, but what's this wall here in the background? That additional decorative, we see some cubbies, some floating shelves. Tell me a little bit about this. What was the purpose behind this wall right here?
This is really a landing space. So my purses, handbags, keys all get hidden away. And it's that last put it in or get it out before you leave the house. It's really just about giving my husband and I space to put things that don't need to be in the kitchen, but you don't want them too far away. It's also kind of a good drop spot for we have a few tools inside here, just in case you need a screwdriver, you're there. But really also just to open up this wall and give it something dynamic and more interesting than just the base cabinet with some shelves above, which was what was here before. So I really tried to open it up, lighten it up, um, and have a way to display some of the things that I love, things that I use that I've gotten while traveling that are kind of kitchen related, things that aren't or that I just thought were cute and I want to see every day because I spend a lot of time in here. Um, just really kind of a good accent piece to display and enjoy my kitchen while I'm here and just kind of have a good artistic, like unique space.
I love it. You did such a wonderful job here. It's a beautiful space. I'm sure your friends and family must be so impressed when they come by now. How has everyone reacted to this remodel?
What's really been fun about it is some people have never seen a kitchen like this before. So like the hidden trash can or all the hidden the drawers that we have, everyone's always amazed at the hardware that how everything's manufactured. So that's always nice. Really some of the things, the fridge, people are always surprised about, and somebody who works in the industry, it's normal to me, and it's nice
Yeah.
and refreshing to remember, oh yeah, it's not everyone has this. It's kind of a unique thing too.
Yeah, that is very true. That's also cool. How was the installation? How was receiving everything? Were you prepared for installation? How was support throughout all that? Um,
Definitely prepared. Just kind of I made sure that I had time. So the cabinetry for me arrived in May and the install didn't begin until July. So I wanted to make sure I had all the cabinetry, all the appliances, the tile for the backsplash, everything on site. So as soon as my contractor could get going, they hit the ground running and I didn't have to go and wait for anything. And
good
that really
designer.
made the process fast.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure you were super prepared for this. And just so everyone knows, all of our cabinetry is shipped fully assembled. So it does help make it an easy install. And was that the case for you?
Yes. It was my contractor had never installed European cabinets before. So it was kind of a new thing for him. And once I explained how everything was and gave him essentially the installation guide that we give all of our clients and everything's numbered, he was like, "Oh, okay, I get this. This makes sense." And he just ran with it and really In one day, all the base cabinets were down. It took a little bit of time for the upper cabinets because there's blocking, and blocking as well on the tall items, but it really didn't take that long. And I was pretty impressed at how fast he went. In
Amazing.
fact, I think it took longer to get the countertop in.
Uh, well, thank you so much for sharing all this. This has been so wonderful. I guess now I'd like to leave an opportunity for everyone joining to answer some Q&A. Unless there's anything else you'd like to share about your kitchen, Eva? Anything you think?
No, I mean, I think just understanding your client and understanding what they need or what you want as a homeowner. Let us help. All of the designers have so much experience. Lean on it. Let us talk to you through it. We love the project and we are very familiar with it. So, I'm happy to help. I'm happy to answer questions. And sometimes I'll even take pictures of things that I have to share with clients because a picture sometimes helps explain something so much faster than words ever will.
So true. Yeah, and the team is super talented. You guys do such amazing work. And so yeah, thank you. If you guys won't have any questions that we can answer.
We've had Marlon, we've had a couple roll in, and thanks again. Yeah, that was such a great tour. The first is from Kristen. She loves your kitchen, by the way. You had mentioned the word blocking. Can you tell people what blocking means?
Sure. So blocking is when essentially up here behind this cabinet, there's a hanging rail that all upper cabinets get hung to. So behind the drywall, you want to put probably a 2x10, 2x6 in between the studs. So when you anchor that wall cabinet up there, it stays in place and you don't have to worry about it falling down. So blocking is really important for anything that's suspended, any upper cabinetry, and even support on the bigger, heavier items above the refrigerator. You just want to make sure everything is supported and you won't have that midnight crash worrying about, oh, is that a cabinet?
Thank you. Ellen would like to know, what are inside the cabinets like? What are the shelves like? Could we maybe get a tour? Yeah.
So basic upper cabinet, you use the bottom as a shelf here, and then you've got 2 adjustable shelves to kind of put wherever you feel like. And then a basic drawer cabinet, because I know this one's pretty organized. You've got the steel glides on the side, anti-slip mat at the bottom so nothing shifts. And then bigger, deeper drawers have an extra support glide here. And then lastly, this has an accessory in it for all my Tupperware. If you have any, I totally recommend this accessory. It's really useful to keep my life organized.
Awesome. We had actually a follow-on question from Kristen about the under cabinet lighting. Is that an add-on? Is that part of the Form cabinetry system?
It is a part of our system, and we have a few different types. I chose the longer linear light, so it's all a low voltage LED. You can change the color temperature of it. It's actually pretty easier for me to do it if I come to here, switch slides. So I opted for a sensor because I always lose remotes, but you can tap it to turn it on, change the color temperature and turn it off. So it's all pretty handy. We have another option that also has a remote. Know thyself, I knew I would lose that remote. So I went for the one that had the sensor that's about the size of a quarter to do it. They can all be connected. My kitchen light and this are on 2 separate switches, just as a personal choice on mine, but you can all connect them so they all turn on and off at one time. They're pretty dynamic, and at night they make the kitchen look really special. If it's part of the budget, because I know it's an expensive line item, because if you can see all of the routing for each light is built inside, so it does add up a little bit, but it's definitely a cost that I I'm happy to have spent because I think it really does add a lot to the kitchen design.
Well, speaking of cost, Elmira wants to know, is there a general sense of how much integrated appliances cost, or is there some sort of rule of thumb there?
I like to say a panel for each appliance is roughly $500, $500 to $800 per panel. So it depends. Obviously, a dishwasher panel is just one panel. A fridge would be 3. So that's usually a good kind of rough estimate on that. The thing about all the panel ready appliances is they are significantly more expensive, even though you're also going to have to provide the front. I don't know what that is with the appliance industry, but it's part of the look. But 500 to 800 is usually a good estimate on the panels.
And as a follow-on question, is there a certain line of appliances that our panels work with?
They're specific to the appliance. So almost all manufacturers have a specific line that's just going to be panel ready. For example, this one is Fisher Paykel. They're a brand out of New Zealand. KitchenAid, Bosch, Miele, they all have panel ready appliances. I know Miele appliances, their dishwashers work wonderful with our European kitchens because they are also European. But we work with anytime we're doing a design that's panel ready, we're going to look through all the specs and read it and tell you if it's possible or how it works and how it goes together.
Got it. As a follow-on, also from Elmira, where's your microwave?
Oh. Not the most tidy of cabinets right now. Sorry, I didn't realize I'd open it, but it's hidden in there. But it is my kitchen. I live here. I didn't want to see my microwave. That's a personal choice for me. Just want to keep everything really clean and consistent throughout. So I typically hide my microwave.
This was a question we got actually ahead of the webinar. Should blue only be used in kitchens that get a lot of light?
For me, I don't think so. But I think it also depends on the blue. So in our case, Fjord blue, as you can see, it's kind of looks a little navy probably in this light. I mentioned earlier on this call, in a bright sunlight situation, it looks much brighter and more true bright blue. And probably by the evening when it gets closer to dusk, it'll be almost graphite. So our blue particularly changes a lot, and it's one of the things that I love about the color. And I found it to be it felt more richer than just a solid color. So no, and this kitchen gets very dark. So personally, for me, I think it's fine.
Great.
But I did balance it with some lighter colors to help lift it up.
Well, that was the other question from this attendee. Do you recommend certain materials or colors to go with blue?
For me, it's always personal. Color is such a personal choice. I went with more neutral colors. There's the backsplash behind me is a Calcutta marble mosaic. So it has a little bit of the grays, neutrals that bring out the sand color and kind of tie in the blue together. I've had other clients that have used green tiles in their blue kitchen as a backsplash. It's really such a personal choice. And as always, I'm happy to kind of talk it through and show you how it works together. And it's one of the reasons we send you door samples, because we want you to be able to put everything together and see, does it feel like it looks good together? And then the renderings we do, if you have the tile, we'll put them in so you'll see it and you'll know what it looks like together.
Great. Ellen wants to know, I know Forum does more than kitchens, you do bathrooms as well. Do the cabinets work well in a bathroom environment where maybe it gets a little more damp?
Well, I replaced 3 of my bathrooms with Forum cabinets, and so I will happily say yes, they do. Because I do have them in there. In fact, I use the walnut finish in my master bathroom. I mean, like every cabinet, you're not gonna wanna throw water and just soak it on there. That's never gonna be good for any cabinet. But with the humidity in a bathroom, I don't think there's any issue.
Great. We have another attendee who would love to just better understand kind of costing for these sorts of things. So ballpark, what is a kitchen of this size from a cabinetry cost? What are we looking at price wise, and how do we stack up kind of relative to other offerings in the market?
So this kitchen one is I purchased it in 2020, so or 2021 rather, at the end of the year. So the pricing for this kitchen is a little bit skewed because as everything in the world, prices have increased. So I want to say with all the accessories and things that I've got, I want to roughly say 40 for this one because I really kitted it out. I put everything I wanted, every bell and whistle that I thought was worth it for me.
Mhm.
And then for the lighting, the handle choice is kind of one of our more pricier options because you can see that the top of the handle goes all the way across, and so they cut down the cabinet a little bit so it could fit. And it also flexes size based on what the cabinet size is. So this is about a 31.5 inch cabinet. This is a 6 inch one. So it changes based on that. But that's one of the things. We have so many cabinets, so many options, so many finish types. So we really can help you kind of budget, figure out what will work for you. I mean, that's part of what I do all day. Is like I'll listen to you and be like, hey, I can do this, or I can add this and it'll be this much. Some clients will ask me to kind of kit it all out and we'll back out from there, or design it and kind of bare bones and we'll add things where you need it. That's kind of the beauty of the European cabinets is everything's a standard size. So usually I can kind of pull out one cabinet, swap in another one, just kind of go back and forth to help maintain a good budget.
Awesome. Chad Nichols has two questions. One is, do you have installers or how does that work?
So we're working on growing our installers across the country, but we work with a company called Build Zoom that kind of helps vet and find installers in your area for you. As we've grown the past couple of years, we do have a lot of installers in certain areas. California and New York being two of our biggest areas where our kitchens have been installed. So we have a lot in that area, but we're growing. I'm in Atlanta, so now we have an installer that we highly recommend here because he was amazing. So we're growing, and we definitely try to help you find somebody to install.
Great. And Chad, this is Michael. I'll follow up separately. We do have a whole trade program for multi-unit development. One last question, because I know we're at time. Who does all the measurements to make sure there's no surprise during installation?
So we ask the homeowner to do the first go around. And as we go through the process, we recommend you get a contractor or someone to kind of fine tune it. Having done this process and measured my own kitchen, I know how nerve-wracking it can be to be like, oh, I hope I measured this right. I measured it twice. I asked my husband to measure it again, just to make sure my numbers were correct, because how embarrassing would it be that the designer for the kitchen that works at the company couldn't do it? But it all worked out. And we do give wiggle room. We do have fillers on the sides to make sure everything opens, and we look through it. As a designer, I look through it. A tech designer looks through it. The factory reviews it. So everybody has a little bit of a say in it and making sure that everything works too.
Great. A couple people local to Atlanta asking, do you have a showroom in Atlanta?
We do not, unfortunately. Right now, we currently only have one in San Francisco where Marlin is, and one in New York City in Dumbo.
Gotcha. Thank you. Well, I think we got to everyone's questions. Like I said, we will be sending this recording out to everyone who signed up for the webinar. But I do want to say a huge thank you to Marlon for emceeing today, and obviously a huge thank you to Eva for this wonderful tour. And not visible, but Eva's husband has also done a wonderful job of making this tour possible. So thank you everyone for coming. And like Marla and Eva said, we provide everyone free consultations, free estimates. If you ever have questions, do not hesitate to reach out. We're here to help, and here to help you kind of go through this challenging journey. And we look forward to speaking with you down the line.
Thank you all for joining.
Thanks
Thank
all.
you, Eva.
Bye, and thank you.
Bye.